Well, ladies and gentlemen, it will look as if the gaming industry is in mourning. What am I talking about? Well, we have a very interesting article here from Nintendo Life that was written by someone called Gavin Lane. And essentially, what this is them begging you to please support gaming urinalists. Please support them before it's too late. They are writing this entire crazy article, essentially trying to guilt trip you into supporting the people that you supposedly love. Yeah, you, the gamer, love these gaming urinalist websites. Of course you love Kotaku. Of course you love The Gamer. Of course you love Game Rant. Of course you love Nintendo Life. Of course you do. They're trying to tell you, please, please support the people and the sites that you love before it's too late, because apparently reality is coming for every single one of them, and they know it. So let's get into this article, guys, from Nintendo Life. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So again, the headline reads editorial: gamers, support the people and sites that you love before it's too late forever. And then it says that, well, we've come to the end of the week, and that's seen the end of two gaming institutions as we've known them for many years. The departure of Dan Reichert and Jeff Grubb from Giant Bomb on Thursday was swiftly followed by news of layoffs at Polygon following the site's sale to Valnet, the owner of Screen Rant. Seeing these top-tier creators and games journalists unceremoniously cast aside has been a shock for anybody who's followed and enjoyed their work over the years. Has it really, though? My thing is, has it really been a shock for anybody? Because when I uploaded my video talking about that, pretty much every single comment was saying something along the lines of saw that coming, kind of saw that coming, right? And then they'll end up saying, well, what took so long? People pretty much knew that this was going to happen. Reality was going to set in for these gaming urinalists at some point in time. It was only a matter of time. And for the people out there that want to pretend as if this is shocking news, I mean, at what point I got to wonder, what kind of bubble are you living in? What kind of rock are you living under if you really thought that these websites that were pulling in barely any clicks? I'm telling you, these websites, every single website combined, is doing worse than some YouTubers by themselves. You know, YouTubers were getting millions upon millions of views on their own, and these websites were struggling to get what, like 500,000 to a million clicks, maybe 2 million clicks. And you got to imagine those 2 million clicks for those websites are worth nowhere near as 2 million clicks for a YouTuber. So these websites were bleeding money. They were hemorrhaging money. And I'm telling you, you know this is true, because otherwise they wouldn't have been sold off. But in any case, it says that, except it hasn't really, has it? The layoffs in games and games media have become so commonplace that it doesn't come as a surprise anymore to see gaming institutions crumble around us. It's just another week in the industry. Exactly. That's exactly what I've been saying. You know, it's obvious that for anybody looking at this stuff, that this was going to be happening. Like anybody looking at this and understanding even a small amount of business would know that there's no way that these websites can continue to operate the way that they've been operating, especially since most of these websites actually don't like gamers. Most of these websites continue to attack their supposed customer. So that's only going to work on so many people. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, some people might love being attacked every single day while they're reading the articles on a website they supposedly love. But most people are not going to be into that. Most people are going to read some of these articles, and once they get called a racist, a sexist, misogynist, whatever, they're probably going to be out and they're not going to come back. It says we're a month away from a new Nintendo console launch, something we've been waiting for so long, and yet many of the critic voices fans are most keen to hear have been deplatformed this week in circumstances that leave us, if not surprised, then thoroughly depressed and dumbfounded by the decisions taken by management at Fandom in Valnet. That is such a lie, bro. Look at this. They said many of the critic voices fans are most keen to hear. Most keen to hear. Bro, nobody is most keen to hear any of you. Nobody is most keen to hear Nintendo Life. Like, nobody's most keen to hear Kotaku. Nobody's like, you guys are so, this is the problem. You guys are such narcissists that you are sniffing your own farts if you genuinely believe that the majority of gamers and the majority of players out there are most keen to hearing what you have to say over whatever their favorite YouTuber has to say. You guys don't want to admit that you are completely irrelevant, but the simple fact is that you are basically the dodo bird in this situation, and it's only a matter of time before you follow suit with Polygon and the rest. I know you don't want to hear that, but that's essentially what's going to happen. And then it says, whether you've been an avid Giant Bombs fan since the original Gerstmann Davis days, jumped on board in the mid 2010s, or are a most recent convert, the Giant Bomb cast and Beast cast for a good spell there have been a fixture of many gamers' weeks since starting in 2008, even if you never watch a single Giant Bomb video. The podcast radio style warmed and informed but informal tone set the template for many a gaming podcast in the following years, and epic multi-hour Game of the Year episodes became yearly traditions for listeners to look forward to and savor. Man, these people really view themselves very highly. Vinny, Brad, Alex, and Jeff's respective departures across 2021 and 22 might have felt like the last straws, but fandom pulling down episode number 8088 feels like the definitive end of an era. Then there's Valnet's acquisition of Polygon and the subsequent layoffs. It feels like a tentpole of modern gamers media falling. But, well, I mean, at this point, isn't that obvious though? I mean, you guys want to pretend as if you are the modern gaming media, but the simple fact is you're not. Most people consume different forms of media outside of going to websites like Kotaku or Nintendo Life and reading articles. Most people don't do that. Most people would rather watch a YouTuber break down the article that you wrote and give their opinion on it. That's how little they want to hear your opinion. That's the hilarious thing about all of this. So at the end of the day, for calling yourself modern games media, I think you haven't been modern games media for 10 years, just to be fair, at least since like 2012 or something along those lines. For over 12 years, the site's writers have consistently put out some of the best articles in the space, so the talent being thrown away with this round of layoffs is confounding. Firing your most experienced staffers mere weeks before an important console launch suggests something about the standard of coverage these companies are interested in providing their audience. You might think, Jesus Christ, man, these people, they really are trying to make it seem as if without them, there is no standard of coverage. Without them, there is no amazing coverage in the gaming industry. Without them, they are the ones that provide the standard, and everybody else is substandard. Yeah, that's because they are the gaming journalists. Like, come on, bro, what are you talking about? If you're a fan of those voices from Giant Bomb or Polygon or any other writers and creators who suffered layoffs in recent times, remember that the vast majority are online, searchable, and crucially supportable. They may not be on the platform you previously found them on for years, but they're almost certainly out there doing great work. This is like literally, this is a massive article of just begging. Like, they're begging you to please support them. Please go support these people who got fired for doing activism. Please go support these people who got fired for being subpar. Please support them. Please, please, please support gaming media before we end up losing completely to the YouTubers. Please, for the love of God. It's like, bro, come on, man. If you love that work and you're in a position to subscribe to their Patreon, fling them a few quid over Ko-Fi or sign up as a supporter, please do so. Assuming that these sites and streams will just survive and their creators can simply jump ship to a similar gig when the iceberg looms is wishful thinking. Willing but not in a financial position to send your hard-earned cash to a bunch of writers and podcasters and streamers? Hey, as anyone working in games media would tell you, it's tough out there, and there's no shortage of good causes and need of support these days. Remember, though, that just downloading and listening to podcasts on the free feeds, watching streams, and turning off ad blockers on sites like this one, for instance, make a big difference. Oh, so now we're at the point where we're begging people to turn off ad blocker. That's like me telling my viewers to turn off ad blocker when they watch my videos, but I have never done that, and I will never do that, man. Let people view their stuff the way they want to view it. If they want to watch it with ads to support you, they will. If they don't want to watch it with ads, then they're not going to. It doesn't matter how much you beg them. This is a really sad article, and at the end of the day, this just proves exactly where games media is at. Completely irrelevant, completely shuttered, and at this point, a laughing stock. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.